Are you able to take in the totality of your sense perceptions at this moment without any mental commentary? Just be maybe like a 1-year-old child hasn't learned language yet and just looks in wonder and amazement at the world. You don't have to look like that, I'm just proving. So you look around at the innocent perception without, is it possible for you, only you can answer that for yourself, but not through words, through just a knowing. Are you able to be here in this moment? Allow your sense perceptions to be there, being aware of all these things without commenting mentally, without interpretation. Just let it be. Like the Beatles song, let it be. Now there's a shift in consciousness that's already happened, because when you interpret your sense perceptions, that's the conditioning of your mind. It's a person perceiving things. But when you don't interpret, there's still a knowing there, but not conceptual. There's a deeper knowing, but the person isn't there really at that moment when you're not commenting, not interpreting, not imposing some kind of interpretation on the world. Then the person that was there before when you were commenting has been replaced by awareness or presence. So there was a person, but then the person comes to an end temporarily, and there's simply who or what is perceiving this room when you are not commenting according to the conditioning of your past. Who or what is perceiving this? Awareness itself. So something has receded, the person, and something else has arisen to replace it, so to speak. Awareness. That awareness is very still. Stillness is sometimes what in spiritual discourse, stillness is another important term. It's just another pointer. It's stillness. So, and that stillness is not a sleepy stillness, it's an alert stillness. And so a shift has taken place from being a conditioned entity, conditioned by the past, and now the shift has happened, and suddenly just you are that space of awareness. And so the next step in presence, you're not just, yes, you are aware of your sense perceptions and you're not labeling, but you're also aware of the awareness itself, through which you are able to be aware of sense perceptions. You're aware of your, let's say, words are very limited, but we have to use them. You're aware of the being of yourself, the presence that makes sense perceptions possible, the presence of consciousness that makes sense perceptions possible. And you can sense that not as a subject-object relationship, although when we talk about it, it sounds like a subject-object relationship because language operates in that way. Language has a subject and an object, so as you use language, you say, I am aware of awareness. That creates a duality that's not really there. When you talk about it, there's an I that is aware of awareness, so there's two of you, but there isn't. It's only when you start talking about it. You become aware of yourself as awareness itself. Awareness becomes self-aware, whatever you want to call it. But that is an amazing thing, that you are able to enter the, even if it's just for brief moments. For brief moments you can become free of the person. Oh my God, that heaviness, that burden that people carry around, that they are so identified with, that they are that heaviness. And that's why many persons, their identity is intimately bound up with this burden of problems that they have to figure out how to solve my life problems. So for many people, the identity is, I am a problem to be solved, that's seeking a solution. And then you go to a therapist. However, if the therapist is present, that makes a huge difference. But I don't know. I'm sure there are some therapists here. And some of you are probably doing fantastic work because you are able to, even though your client or patient is talking, perhaps you are able to be present while you listen instead of interpreting everything, but be the consciousness. Oh. And then perhaps some awakening can happen if you embody presence. So the big secret, it's not a secret, but it seems to be a secret, to be aware that you're conscious, to be aware of yourself as consciousness, as awareness, as presence, to sense the beingness of you, which is not the you, the limited you, it's actually the beingness of the universe in you. That's an amazing, the awakening of this transcendent dimension to who you are. So in English, we don't have a word that applies to both men and women. I don't know if in Swedish, in German you have the word Mensch, which means it's man and woman. But the English language doesn't have that. So you have to say human being. Human being, and that's great. I like that because I realized that points to the two dimensions that constitute your reality. You are a human, undoubtedly, which means you have a past, you have mental emotional conditioning that makes up the person or the ego, the personality. You have a life situation, you are a human, and you have your desires as a human, you have your goals and so on, all the things that you experience as a human, right? Okay. But what about being? The being dimension is overlooked by most humans. They are lost in their human nature. They are completely unaware of that transcendent dimension of consciousness that actually is the essential reality to who or what they are. I sometimes call it your essence identity. Your essence identity is the being of you, and the being is timeless. The being is consciousness itself. And then there's the human, and the two are together. And if you can awaken to the beingness of you, then of course you continue to be a human until you are no longer until the body dissolves. But in the meantime, your task, your mission, your purpose is to, as a human, to also embody the being. Then you have both dimensions in your life.